Again, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much, Reverend Scott Hall, and inviting me again to this beautiful sanctuary. I know I'm very busy person traveling because he's asking me to come again. I said, can you believe I'm scheduling my next October next year? So, in between, I know definitely I can find some time Sunday morning to come here again. So happy to be part of this community because always I'm telling people I'm a big part of UU community because my temple also all Unitarian Church. So that's how I started my journey with them. Finally, they sold the church and I got the church. Still, we have all their beautiful artifacts, stained glasses, everything is there. I'm always practicing meditation, loving kindness, and mindfulness with Buddha and Jesus both. So, my temple is the only place in the whole world, Buddha and Jesus both are standing side by side and practicing meditation together. Because why I kept everything like that? Because my teaching or the Buddha's message spreading loving kindness, acceptance, and let go. So, therefore, my first 9 years I was practicing with Jesus and inside that church, so I didn't have any issue. So, after I get that building, why I have an issue? So, therefore, I thought I want the Buddha, I want the Jesus, I have Mother Mary too. How wonderful. All three spiritual leaders are there. So, anyway, I use the word spiritual leaders. This word spirituality is one of the most popular word in this country and the whole world right now. And also, I can see this word spirituality is very expensive. People spending lots of money, hundreds of dollars to find spirituality. So when somebody come to me and say, it's always happening, Bhante, I'm very spiritual, I take 5 steps back. So I'm a little concerned when people label themselves, I'm so spiritual. If you have that quality, I'm so happy to see that. But when people write, trying so hard to put themselves, I'm a spiritual person in front of people, so there is a big question mark for me to think. So I know I'm judging. So judgment is all right, but no condemnation. So why I'm judging, I want to understand what is going on, because being a monk last 40 years, I have lots of experiences with people called spiritual. So one lady, she's a yoga teacher, and also wonderful person, good heart, big heart. She went to India for 10-day yoga and meditation retreat. Then she returned and came to the temple and she said, Bhante, look, now I'm so spiritual. Why? I can see she changed her hairstyle, and because it's pull it up and like a guru, and then also she's wearing like an Indian girl, and so then I asked her, why you call yourself spiritual? Look, Bhante, my hairstyle, my dress, I'm so spiritual. Then I was thinking to myself, that is spirituality. That's why I said I'm very careful when people call spiritual. Then what she did, then she went for the 10-day silent retreat. So after her silent retreat, third day, I can see after one of my workshop, there were 16 missed calls on my phone from her. Then I was thinking she has to be in a retreat. So why she's calling me? Anyway, I call her back. Then she's sitting inside her car and escaped from the meditation center and sitting in the car and crying like a baby. I asked her what's going on. Then she said, I went to this retreat center, everybody is silent. I had to do almost 8 hours sitting. So I did 3 days. Then all my emotion come to the surface. Lots of anger, lots of hatred, lots of traumas, my childhood experience with my parents and my relationship, all those matters came to the surface. I don't know how to handle. I felt so angry. Then finally I had the strong feeling like suicidal. So what I did, there is no person to talk because everybody is silent. What I did, I escaped from the meditation center. I don't know what to do. Then I was thinking about you. She called me. But she called herself, she's so spiritual. So then I felt using that word, she really hid her truth. So then after that experience, I was thinking to myself, I really want to dig into this word, English word, spirituality. So the word spirit, ancient, the tradition, they use the word spirit. We always say that, right? Spirit. So they use this word spirit for the breath. That's my spirit, my breath. So when you call yourself spiritual, person who is taking care of his or her breath, that person we call spiritual. The person who is taking care of his or her life, we can call that person is spiritual. Not changing the hairstyle, not changing the dress code, cannot say, or practicing yoga or going to the meditation retreat, doing those activities, you cannot call yourself, just spiritual. So I'm traveling almost 200 days per year. Like 2.5 weeks ago, I was in New Zealand. I was teaching then. So one of my friends I met there, and he said, Bhante, I'm so spiritual again. I asked, how come? I did 30 times 10-day silent retreat. 30 times. That means 10 days, 30 times. So now I'm so spiritual. Then I was there in his house. He has a big heart, loving person. It's very interesting. Even he calls spiritual, I'm an observer, I'm a listener. What I realized, he has lots of complaint about life. Then I listened to him, I realized he doesn't have a good connection with wife and 2 children. Does it make sense now? There's no good connection. Wife is doing her own stuff. Children are little grown, but they are doing their own stuff too. Youngest one is 16 and oldest one is 24. So in front of these 2 children, especially youngest one, he always telling him, one day I am leaving you all. I want to find my spiritual journey. Then I can see this 16 years old young man face. He doesn't know how to react. He doesn't know what to do or what to say. I can see he's embarrassed. Then one day when he was talking to me, I asked, how do you feel when your father say like that? Then he said, I'm so confused, Bhante. I don't want to say nothing. Why he keep telling me in front of other people, he's keep leaving. If he wants to leave, just leave. Don't make me embarrassed. Then he's always talking bad about my mother. And when the 2 boys are together, in front of me, he said to the youngest one, he's my favorite. I felt so sad. He said, he's my favorite. Why? The oldest boy, he has little conflict with the father because he's not agreeing, he's grown. he is not agreeing everything what he is doing. But I know this person is not a bad person, but his mind is so conditioned to the word spirituality, but not really development is not happening inside him. Then he said he is going to Thailand next month for another 30-day silent retreat. Now I can see what is happening in his life. He is addict. I call the addiction. He is addict to this, the word activities he is doing, but the less progress. In this country, there are so many addicts, different addicts. In the spiritual community, I can see there's a new addicts. I call the cushion addicts. I call the cushion addicts. Why I call the cushion addicts? People love to sit on the cushion and call, I'm practicing meditation. Then they are counting time, hours, days, how long I'm sitting. Then I'm better than you. So then I can see cats and dogs also sitting on the cushion. We cannot say they are meditating. So just sitting on the cushion, you cannot call you are spiritual. One man went for this longer period of time, retreat. During one of my retreats, weekend retreats at the temple, we are doing some evening discussion, the afternoon discussion, and so asking question and answers. This man raised the hand middle of nowhere, and he said, I have something to say. Then I was thinking comments or question. Then he said, I went for 10-day silent retreat. I was doing 8 hours sitting. Then all the audience, people said, how wonderful, good for you, oh my God, 8 hours sitting? Everybody was so excited because this country is very excited for even simple things, right? That's why you are in trouble anyway. So, then everybody appreciated. Then I'm continuing my discussion. Then again he raised his hand. I thought something new. He said, second time, I did 10 days silent, 8 hours sitting per day. Then the second time when people hear that, they are not that much excited. Then everybody felt this is a little too much. Then I was thinking, because I have this experience with managing and dealing with the situation and people, then I was thinking, if he said the second time, definitely he will say the third time too. I had to prepare. So I prepared my mind. I was kind of waiting for it. I knew it is coming. So again, end of the program, he raised the hand. Again, can you believe he said, I was doing 10-day silent retreat. I was doing 8 hours per day sitting. Then even people call me Bhante Sujatha, the loving kindness monks. I'm not always. And so I made my face because I felt it's a part of my responsibility being a leader. I, looking at him very straight in front of the people, I said, who cares your 8 hours? I said that. I knew right after I say that, it will hurt. Then now everybody was so quiet. Right after I say that, now everybody's kind of looking at me. They were thinking I'm mad, but I'm not. Right? I know how to hiss, but I don't bite. Right? And I hiss, then I'm kind of looking at people. Then I ask that man, I know him long years, how do you feel about it? Then he said, you hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings. I said, I love it. That's my intention. I really want to hurt your feeling. Intentionally, I did that. Then I said, if you really feel hurt, what I said, I know you feel hurt. If you really feel hurt, what is the purpose of that 8 hours of sitting? Does it make sense? What is the purpose of your 8 hours of sitting? That means I said, I appreciate your 10 days sitting and 10-day meditation, but what did you receive? What did you receive? Even you cannot handle my words. your 8 hours is not really worked for you. So therefore, sharing this information, what I am trying to tell you, be careful when you call yourself spiritual, when you are going towards that direction called the spiritual. Now I am asking you, if you really want to be a spiritual person, how you are going to define yourself, that word spirituality for yourself. Then after having all those experiences with people, I was thinking, I'm a Buddhist monk. Most of my life, I was monkeying around, right? Age 11 to now. So most of my life, I committed, I was doing this work, I was traveling around the world while I am taking care of myself. Now I was thinking how I am going to define myself as a spiritual human being. As I said, we have number one, in big picture, we have to take care of our life, which is our breath. Right? If you are taking care of your breath, everything will be fine. That's the number one, as a big picture. Then the next one, I was going inward and looking inside me. When I call myself spiritual, I am always considering how much loving kindness I have for myself. Does it make sense now? So how I am doing with my own loving kindness practice. I can see one good thing here in this country. People are very compassionate. People are ready to help. People are doing so well for loving kindness for other people. When they turn into themselves, most of my experience, they don't know how to love themselves. If you don't know how to love yourself, physically and mentally, you cannot call yourself spiritual. So therefore, number one, if you want to call yourself spiritual, please consider how you are doing your inner loving kindness practice. Sometimes people smiling and happy, joyful, but they have lots of turmoil and lots of problem inside, lots of anger inside them. Once in a while they are coming out and really hurting to so many people. So when we are talking about the self-love, I can see two different directions we can go. One is taking care of your physical body, other one taking care of your mind. I can see two groups of people. Some people are so good to taking care of their physical body. When I go to work out, gym, not wearing the robe, and when I go there, and I can see, I meet some people I know who practice with me. They have wonderful, beautiful bodies, but when they see me, they come and talk to me. I can see even they have beautiful, strong bodies, their minds are suicidal. Okay? Then I meet another group of people who come to the temple. They are always talking about the spirituality, meditation practice, and this and that, always talking about it, but they are totally neglecting their physical body. Eat all the sweets, but they call them, I'm mindfulness practitioner. So how come we call, if you are totally neglecting your physical body or your mind, you are loving and kind or practicing mindfulness? So therefore, number one, most important practice I realize in my spiritual journey, taking care of myself no matter what. So therefore, I'm asking, put your oxygen mask first before you assist other person. Now, do you accept that? That's what Buddha said 2600 years ago. Now they are using that technique in the airplane. Whatever Buddha said. The second one, when I call myself spiritual, how I am going to taking care of my senses. Now think about, if you don't have, your senses are not working, what we call? When your senses are not working? Unconscious, or you are dead. Right? Your senses are totally stopped working. That means we are dead. No issues, right? After that. So now think about, all your senses are working. You see things, you hear things, you taste things, you feel things, and all the senses are working. So when senses are working, what you are doing? Every time when you see something, you react. How do you react? When you see something? Now think about, if you see something, you react. You say, oh, beautiful. Oh, I don't like it. All the time, we are reacting through our senses, whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we taste, like and dislike, good or bad, positive or negative. We cannot find the balance. So always we are reacting to our senses. So when you are practicing mindfulness, you are watching and observing closely how you react. So now think about, you are practicing mindfulness. I hear a couple of people when they are in the social home, they are talking. I heard one man said, that's the way it is. How beautiful that word. What is that means? That means he is accepting the things as they are. This makes sense? So when you are practicing mindfulness, you accept things as they are. Then you are understanding the nature of life. All the conditioned things are subject to change. So that means you are more aware about your senses. So I can give a whole nother talk about, how to practice it, but I don't have that much time about that. Then the last one, when you call your spiritual practice, I want to make sure I am humble. I am humble. So why people cannot be humble? They have lots of egotistical mind. We call the big head. Okay? So when I was in New Zealand, this person or that person at the retreat who said 8 hours, what is there? Lots of egotistical issues. That means they want to show the world, I am better than you. Then I said to that man at my retreat, I said, you didn't practice mindfulness or loving kindness or meditation, you didn't taking care of yourself. Only thing you did, you build your ego big. So now you need recognition. That means in front of this kind of group, he want to say, I did 10-day silent retreat. I did 8 hours sitting. First, people appreciated. Then the same issue keep coming. What is going on? That means he is looking for some attention. So that means his spiritual practice is so low. So now, last thing I want to tell you, when you become very spiritual or less ego, then you have less ego, then you become so humble. But don't become a doormat. This makes sense? You can be so humble, don't become a doormat. If you become a doormat, other people use you. That's why I said, be a cobra, hiss, don't bite. So, let's summarize. So what is now spirituality? Taking care of your life. If you are not taking care of your life, you are not spiritual. You are in and out, you have to taking care of. Then number 1, please practice self-love. Self-love going 2 directions. One is internal self-love, other one taking care of this physical body. The second one, taking care of your 6 senses, including your mind, okay? 6 senses, taking care of your 6 senses. Be aware about all the things you are bringing in through your senses. Then don't react to them. Don't become a slave to your own senses. Be a master. Then after that, you are mastering your mind. Last one, be humble, less egotistical mind. Thank you so much.
Visit us at uusg.org.